Have you ever wondered, if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, why is it that you're going to have certain businesses that really, really thrive while others do not seem to thrive at all in the same business, same industry, same city, under the same conditions and environment? So obviously a lot of that has to do with certain characteristics that these successful businesses have. And there's tons of books out there to really point in that direction. But what I want to do today is maybe cover some of those characteristics that I think contribute to a person being successful in practice or in business. So one of the things, obviously, that will impact the success of a business is that person's capability of making the decisions under the right conditions and the right time. And I keep telling people whenever I mentor them is that all the decision and the advice I'm going to give you is actually just a guess. Because there is no true right and wrong, but the possibilities of success with certain decisions will increase the probability of success versus others. So despite it is a guess, I think people who have a good business sense, their guessing tends to lead to more success than those who are not. Another characteristic that I think a successful practice needs to develop is the review of your team's work. Now, most people will think, well, I'm already reviewing their work, and you're reviewing it for quality and things like that, and making sure that you're meeting all the standards for CPA and so on. But what I'm talking about here is going beyond that, is just not checking the file for completeness and accuracy and those kind of things, and making sure you're meeting all the CPA standards or whatever other standards you need to meet. But I'm talking about training your team and reviewing the work they do as it relates to impressing the client. So I think proper supervision and proper training and then proper review of their work and everything they do and the way they communicate with their clients and what they say and all that makes it all part. So I'm very big on reviewing, even at first especially, the emails that are being sent to your clients by your employees and showing them how to do it properly. Applying good work habits is something that is challenging. Now, I've got already a session on proper time management, but it really goes down into making the best use of your time and to really think about developing those habits that will really impact the way you do business in all regards. And habits are something that's created over time, but it does take time to change those habits. So I would suggest that you maybe take an inventory and say, what are the bad habits I need to get out of? But the only way you get out of doing a bad habit is to replace it with a good habit. So make a list of all the things that you think you could improve upon, and then make a list of how you're going to make it happen, and replace those bad habits with good habits. What I'm about to say is probably true for any business, but especially for accountants and bookkeepers, because we have a certain workflow going through the office. So to organize that workflow in a way that you can manage it properly. So in one of the sessions to come, we're going to talk about time and building software that will help you better manage the workflow of your office. But it's essential that you have a system that allows you to properly track when a file is coming in, when the information is there, and when you're going to get it out, so you can actually track that. And failure to do that will often result in certain files falling through the cracks and client not getting proper service. Almost all books and all professionals and all the people who have been extremely successful will all agree that setting goals is one of the most important part of the recipe of success. You have to set goals, and set goals that are measurable and down in writing. So this is something that I keep pushing on people. Set your goals, do your projections, and make sure you aim for those goals all the time and never forget about them. So if you like this video, please subscribe and like, and let's move on. One of the parts that I find more difficult in being in practice that I think practitioners sometimes don't do quite as well is to acknowledge their own weaknesses.
Cake is my weakness, along with speed and strength.
Make sure you've got the people and the resources in place to mitigate those weaknesses. So if you have a problem with marketing and all of that, then make sure you get somebody else on your team taking care of those tasks as it relates to bringing clients in. So one of the things I think it's important we all do is do an inventory of our skill sets and make a list of here are the things I'm really good at that I'm going to do myself, and here are the things I'm not so good at where I'm going to hire and have other people do. But you got to recognize what are your weaknesses and find those people around you who can take care of those weaknesses for you. Take pride in the work that you do. I'm a big fan of not having anything leave the office that's not, well, maybe not perfect, because you got to be careful about going totally nuts with it being perfect. But make it look the best it can as it relates to what you push out by way of services, by way of material, marketing, all of that. Take pride. And I found that most businesses that are extremely successful have tremendous pride in everything they do and all they do as it relates to business and even in their personal lives. And finally, develop a hunger for knowledge. So it goes beyond developing a hunger for knowledge for the technical stuff. But it starts there. Develop a hunger for getting to be the best you can in taxes, the best you can in technology, all the software that's out there, the best you can in everything that you do by way of technology. But don't forget to work on the other two legs of the stool, which is marketing. Work on your skills on how to bring clients in and keep those clients. And then finally, on all of your management skills. So regarding motivating your team and so on and so forth. So these are all skills that will contribute tremendously to your ability to be extremely successful in practice. And as it relates to continuous education and improving yourself, I talked about improving your technical skills and all of that. But one of the skills that I find people tend to neglect and wanting to be hungry for new knowledge for is practice management. And the proof of that I see all the time whenever I attend a CPA conference is that the rooms that host a presentation on taxes or accounting or auditing standards are always full of people. But the sessions that relate on practice management tend to be emptier. So I find that there seems to be a hunger for technical knowledge, but there seems to be neglect as it relates to practice management knowledge. So there seems to be a lack of hunger, and I find that it's more true in Canada than it is in the States, but it seems to be a lack of hunger amongst most practitioners, and in fact, most businesses as a whole. And I've noticed the same thing. I give a tax seminar on how to save taxes. I can fill up the room. So people are really hungry to find knowledge and ways of screwing the government out of their tax dollars. But they are not interested in learning how to make more money. So develop a hunger for practice management and anything related to practice or business. And finally, don't forget to work on your business and not only in your business. And make sure you make the best use of every minute of every day.